Lucas!
3 epic shows, 1 unbeatable night of heroes. It all begins CBS Friday starting at 8, 7 Central.
Looking wet for tonight with some snow showers coming into the western quarter of the Upper Peninsula. More weather details tonight at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, former President Trump hops into a garbage truck following President Biden's comments saying that Trump supporters are garbage. Plus, Trump's running mate J.D. Vance holds a town hall in Pennsylvania. Our Washington, D.C. crew was in attendance and breaks down some of the highlights. And we break down the latest analysis on the state of the economy. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
WZMQ 19 News at 11.
We're looking pretty wet for this Halloween, last day of October, and she will be on the chilly side. Mainly light rain here in Marquette, wet snow out toward the western areas near Iron River, Iron Mountain, where there could be a light accumulation of snow on the grassy areas. Temperatures here in Marquette not getting out of the 40s. Trick-or-treat time, rain, wind, and there could even be some wet snow mixing in with the rainfall. Most everyone today, upper 30s to the mid 40s. For your highs. More coming up later in the show. Kevin?
Thanks, Tom. With the race for the White House remaining tight, both candidates are making their final appeals to voters in key battleground states with rallies tonight in Wisconsin. Natalie Bryan has the latest from Pennsylvania, which could determine the outcome.
As he arrived in Green Bay, Wisconsin, former President Donald Trump, dressed in an orange vest, walked over to a garbage truck waiting on the tarmac.
250 million people are not garbage. I can tell you who the real garbage is, but we won't say that.
The former president seized on President Biden's remarks, seeming to call Trump supporters garbage during a video call with Latino activists. At his rally in the city, he stayed on that theme.
Crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage.
The White House says President Biden was referring to the comedian who made a racist joke about Puerto Rico at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. During a North Carolina rally on Wednesday, Vice President Kamala Harris worked to turn the focus back to Trump.
Unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy.
As both candidates crisscross battleground states, Harris earlier made a stop in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Because we have just 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime.
Polling shows a virtual tie in the Keystone State, which could hand victory to either candidate.
Here in Bucks County, a key swing area outside Philadelphia, voters are divided.
Her issues, her platform, her personal intelligence. She is Vice President of the United States now.
I've always been a Republican, and I like what he stands for. I like the fact that when he was president, he stood behind the stuff he promised to do.
Wednesday, a Pennsylvania judge ruled to extend the deadline to apply for a mail-in ballot until Friday after the Trump campaign sued Bucks County, alleging voters were turned away early.
Nearly 60 million votes have already been cast in early in-person voting and through the mail. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance wrapped up a town hall event in battleground Pennsylvania just a couple hours ago. Tonight, the senator focused on veteran-related issues. Our Washington, D.C. correspondents Brendan Scanlon and Rachel Knapp report.
Good evening, everybody, from here in Bedford County, where we just heard from Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance, as well as former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, both of whom are veterans. Tonight's speech really was more of a roundtable discussion, more of a town hall type event, where we were able to hear from many members of the audience, several of whom were veterans, really asking Vance about his sort of stance on expanding, health options for veterans and health care choices and benefits. Obviously, a key issue for folks here in Pennsylvania. It's home to about 800,000 veterans, and about 3/4 of which are over the age of 55. So a really, really kind of paramount issue for many voters here in Pennsylvania, Rachel.
Oh, that's right. And I think for the most part, the audience was really engaged with the senator because he himself is also a veteran. He served in the Marine Corps. He was deployed over in Iraq. So really, he had this relatability, I think, for the most part. But I want you to take a listen as to how he responded to a question about how we're going to address this homeless veteran issue.
If we want to fix the veterans' homelessness problem, let's make housing more affordable for all America's citizens, and let's do it starting immediately.
Another big topic tonight was about the foreign wars going on. Brendan, I know you and I, we've covered a lot about Ukraine and Israel and Gaza. There's a lot happening in this world, and it's very much scary. And that's what these people told the senator is how, if they were to win the White House, how would they go about those wars? And Senator Vance, for the most part, talked about, it's a mixture of having a strong diplomacy and soft diplomacy, but really trying to reach out to many world leaders and try to have the discussions before anything escalates.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the folks here, Pennsylvania voters, value global security. They value national security. That's something we heard a lot about tonight. For folks in Pennsylvania, though, according to a new Quinnipiac University poll, as of this afternoon, former President Donald Trump ahead of Vice President Harris by 1 percentage point here in the battleground of Pennsylvania. However, other polls, including polling from CNN, showing really a dead tie between the two candidates. Neck and neck here in battleground Pennsylvania with just 6 days to go until the presidential election. We'll send it back to you.
Former staffers for the Michigan Republican Party are speaking up about casting their votes for Vice President Kamala Harris. A previous executive director with the state party announced his endorsement of the Democrat candidate, saying even though he doesn't agree with all of Harris's policies, he believes the candidate who will bring the country together is more important. A lifelong Republican, he says Trump no longer stands for the ideals of the party, and to take the party back, they need to reject Trump once and for all.
And it's going to take somebody that will go out and actually be a decent human for me to get back on board. Because right now, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are an embarrassment to the Republican Party. It's the MAGA party, it's not the Republican Party.
The current communications director with Team Trump says, quote, Michigan families are worried about paying their bills, putting food on the table, and saving for their kids' college tuition. Any Republican campaigning for another 4 years of unfettered illegal immigration and rising prices under Kamala Harris is neither Republican nor worth listening to. We have those full statements up on our website and mobile news app. The economy is growing, consumers are spending, and inflation is cooling. That's according to a new economic report from the Commerce Department. It's one of 3 crucial reports out this week leading up to Election Day. Donnie Bacchus reports from Los Angeles.
The economy is the #1 issue for voters in recent polls. The most common concern, higher prices.
When we get the final bill, it's like sometimes it's sticker shock.
Inflation is it's getting the best of a lot of us.
But new data from the U.S. Commerce Department finds what consumers are feeling has not impacted how they're spending. The economy grew 2.8% over the summer, thanks in large part to Americans opening up their wallets.
And what's funny about that is you think about every single poll that says, I feel lousy about prices and the economy. And yet, in this report, we learned that consumers spent at an annualized pace of 3.7%.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says robust consumer spending, despite higher prices, is likely what has kept the U.S. out of a recession.
It looks like we're getting this so-called soft landing. High inflation met with higher interest rates without causing the economy to crater.
The report also found more signs of cooling inflation. September data on inflation and spending drops Thursday. Then Friday, October data on wages and employment. Employers are expected to have hired 120,000 workers. But recent hurricanes and the East Coast port strike might drag those numbers down. The Federal Reserve will consider all of it when it meets next week. Economists expect they'll cut interest rates 0.25 percentage point and may do it again in December.
Tom DeVecchio is next with your first warning weather forecast. Plus, the CDC issues a warning about the rise in walking pneumonia cases in children. And as we approach the end of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we tell you about a less invasive treatment called proton therapy.
Did I tell you I saw Carl Bodak on the street the other day? Whatever happened to him?
Oh, he went off the deep end in conspiracy theories.
He said vaccines were like Nazi experiments.
He pushed people to take horse dewormer.
And did you hear him attacking Ed McBroom?
Yeah, saying our elections were stolen.
He even thinks climate change is a hoax.
After the winters we've been having?
Such a shame. It's sad to see a nice man go bad.
Tonight, undecided voters. You know their slogan, we can't pick a slogan.
Colbert's New with Kieran Culkin, tonight on CBS.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This Is Home Community Calendar.
Not a J-Hud Halloween without a show-stopping performance.
We done sold out and sold out.
I've been Whoopi, I've been Missy, and this year I'm the legend of all legends. Plus, Janelle Monáe and Lance Bass joined the fun with tricks and treats for everyone.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
Jerry O'Connell here. You know what? Let's play some Pictionary. Can you guess what this is? That's right. Weekdays, 9 a.m. only on CBS WZMQ. I'm not supposed to write letters, but don't miss it.
Pictionary, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WZMQ CBS. Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Things are looking wet for the remainder of tonight, along with a pretty good breeze here, and there even could be some wet snow developing in those areas off toward the west, Iron Mountain area, Ottawa National Forest, that region where there could be a light coating of snow on the ground through the morning hours tomorrow, maybe even late tonight. Chilly conditions Halloween. Not seeing any snow, by the way, for areas of here in Marquette and areas toward the east. But we could get a little bit of snowflakes mixing in with the wet snow as the kids do some trick-or-treating. And as kids go to school, it's cold, at least chilly. Make sure they're dressed warmly. It might even be a little warmer when they go to school. 44, have the raincoat handy. We do expect some of those rain showers. Wet and chilly when the kids go home in the afternoon, down to the low 40s. Maybe a few wet flakes mixing in, we'll see, but it does look unsettled and it does look wet and cloudy. So the rain continuing for tonight, moving out tomorrow morning, but in its wake, we may start out with the rain showers and the colder air comes into the west. So by the end of the day, it'll probably be more of a rain-snow mix here away from Lake Superior, basically west of Iron River, while it'll be mainly rainfall here for east of Iron River, Marquette, and into Sault Ste. Marie. But everyone will probably have at least a chance of seeing some wet snowflakes. Not much accumulation for Halloween evening or Halloween night, but will be cold enough for some of that wet snow to mix in. Expecting a good amount of rain here for the balance of tonight, and by Thursday late into early Friday, could be a total rainfall of 1.5 inches or more. So this will be a pretty decent amount of rainfall for the region. And as we check out snowfall chances here through Thursday and into early Friday, we'll have most of that Marquette ½ inch, not seeing it, and if it does occur, I don't think it would stick. But farther toward the west, it could start to stick for Thursday in at least the grassy areas. The roadway should stay wet there, just too warm, but it shows you just how chilly it is on this last day of October. So we'll keep temperatures lower to mid-40s for most of you tonight with the rainfall continuing. Temperatures, these are early highs toward the west. They'll probably fall into the mid to upper 30s during the afternoon, hence more chances of snowfall here. A few flakes again from Marquette into the evening hours for the trick-or-treaters. Make sure they are dressed warmly and get ready for some rainy conditions here. As we head toward Friday, mostly cloudy. We'll keep it dry and a little bit milder and dry conditions for the upcoming weekend.
Thanks, Tom. The CDC is issuing a new warning about the rising number of walking pneumonia cases in young kids. The number of 2 to 4-year-olds diagnosed after visiting the ER for a pneumonia-related illness has jumped from 1 to 7% in the last 6 months. Symptoms include sore throat, extreme fatigue, chest pain, low-grade fever, and headache. Dr. Celine Gounder discussed a possible cause for the spike.
With social distancing during the pandemic, we reduced a lot of things to almost zero, like the flu, RSV, other kinds of infections. And so what we're seeing is now a rebound as these different infections start circulating again. And little kids in particular have not been exposed to these things before.
Treatment for walking pneumonia includes antibiotics and over-the-counter medicines. Most people with mild lung infections typically recover on their own. This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're highlighting an important and less invasive treatment option called proton therapy. Jenna DeAngelis has more.
Sitting down with Janice Shaheen, it's clear she has a big heart, filled with immense love for her family and passion for her job as a patient escort in a nursing home.
When you have someone with you that helps you through the journey, it really matters.
It's what's helped her through her own journey. In June 2023, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, which spread to her lymph nodes.
I started thinking so fast that, what's going to happen with my little one? I have to be strong.
Hi, Janet. Her doctor, Montefiore Einstein Comprehensive Cancer Center radiation oncologist Jana Fox, suggested proton therapy as a treatment option since the cancer was in her left breast.
Our top priority when we're treating a woman who has a left-sided breast cancer is keeping the radiation dose off the heart.
Proton therapy makes that possible. Compared to traditional radiation, proton therapy more precisely targets tumors, minimizing damage to surrounding organs and tissue. On average, more than 100 patients are treated here at the Proton Center each day. While Dr. Fox says it's not necessarily appropriate for every patient, it's also used to fight other forms of cancer.
We do tend to use proton therapy on children who need radiation and on patients who've had radiation before and need radiation again, and it's more dangerous the second time.
Don't be scared. It's okay to cry. Afterwards, you pick up yourself, you stand up, and you continue your battle. I call it a spa treatment.
Janice jokes the warm and welcoming atmosphere made it easier to complete her treatments. That and hope.
New York Proton Center is the only place in New York to receive this treatment. Doctors there say they see patients from around the world. The dangers of using cannabis while pregnant and how just one hospital visit could ruin someone's finances. WZMQ's Sarah Blakely has some of the day's other top health stories.
As many as half of all Medicare beneficiaries can't afford even a single hospital visit. A report published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found many people would face severe financial hardships after reaching the Medicare hospital deductible of $1,600. The report suggests more needs to be done to help people with moderate or low incomes pay their medical bills. Using cannabis while pregnant can lead to cognitive and emotional problems in children down the line. A study published in JAMA Pediatrics found children exposed to cannabis while in the womb had more difficulty controlling their impulses, problems paying attention, and showed more aggressive behavior. Doctors say you should avoid cannabis during pregnancy. Children with an abnormal body mass index may develop impaired lung function. A study out of Sweden found that either a BMI that's too high or too low can be linked to lung issues as children grow up. But some experts argue BMI is an inaccurate measurement of overall health. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Sarah Blakely, WZMQ 19 News.
Still to come on your 19 News at 11, we have an update on a hospital coming to Ontonagon following a meeting from earlier tonight.
Get an 11% rebate on your painting project at Menards. Give your room a grand finish with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Interior Paint. It's a premium paint and primer with excellent durability and comes in over 750 one-coat colors. A gallon starts at $31.99 after rebate. Give your walls the best finish with Paramount Interior Paint. It provides the most advanced protection, true one-coat coverage, and excellent scrubbability. Get a gallon starting at $39.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Tonight, undecided voters. You know their slogan, we can't pick a slogan.
Colbert's New with Kieran Culkin. Tonight on CBS.
Dear Beacon House family, I cannot thank you enough for all that you have done for us. I came here terrified as my daughter was really sick and in a coma. You embraced me in a hug when I needed it. I have never experienced the type of fear I have this past week, and this price brought me comfort when I needed it most. I am beyond happy to say that my daughter is out of a coma, expected to be released today, Wednesday. Thank you doesn't quite seem enough to truly let you know how much this meant to me. Thank you for giving me a place to rest my head at the end of each day.
This has been a public service message from WZMQ.
The greatest sportsmen and women. Icons of our time and beyond. Timeless quality, superbly crafted stories showcasing the greatest sports heroes and their incredible winning moments. The Immortals, the greatest athletes of all time.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. On April 19th, the Spires Ontonagon Hospital closed, leaving that community without emergency medical care. This evening, the public was invited to a town hall meeting to hear plans for a new hospital to be built on the site of Maple Manor, a now closed nursing home in Ontonagon. Over the last few months, a task force was put together to explore the feasibility of bringing emergency care back to the city. The task force was able to purchase Maple Manor as well as secure the support of several emergency care doctors. The plan is to build a 5-bed emergency room as well as a 36-bed assisted living facility on the site. They are also talking to several area hospitals that they hope to partner with.
This meeting tonight was really to get the community on the same page, dispel the rumors, give people information on what's happening, how it's happening, who's involved, and what direction they're going. So I think it accomplished all of that. I think people are going to go back and talk to people that weren't here tonight. It's all good. It's a win-win situation.
Although no timeline was given for when it may open, officials are hoping for an opening in 2027. For Insights tonight, we spoke with the department head for the Center for Native American Studies at NMU about the upcoming Indigenous Perspective Symposium on Art taking place November 1st. Here's a snippet of our conversation about what to expect. Tell us, what is the symposium all about?
Yeah, the symposium is a really exciting event that kicks off Native American Heritage Month, November 1st. And so what we are highlighting this year for the first symposium that NMU is hosting is Indigenous Perspectives on Art.
So tell me about how this came to be. How did it start?
Yeah, so NMU has a great office on campus, which is the Diversity and Inclusion Office. And so Sean Reese Butler, who leads it, and Justin Schapp supported this idea and endeavor over the summer. Got a core group of people together to plan it, and we've kind of been actively working with one another to just make sure it gets done.
All right, perfect. So it's on November 1st. What can we expect to see when we show up to check it out?
First thing you can expect to see is a registration table. So you've got to register for the event. It's on NMU's event page. If you go there and you just click on through, you should be able to come to the event, no problems. But we open the doors at 8 a.m. We've got two tribal leaders. We've got a CEO of KBIC, Bridget LaPointe, who is also on NMU's Board of Trustees, and Tyler LaPlante, who's the vice chairman, for Sault Ste. Marie. they are both going to be speaking and opening us up alongside President Tessman. And then we just go through a whole day of really great activities that's really open to the entire Marquette community, between general sessions where people can engage with artists on a national and local level, all the way down to workshops and breakouts where people can actually engage with art and learn how to do it themselves.
All right, excellent. And so what do you expect, or how would you say how important this event will be for not only NMU, but for other people in the community who want to come see it?
I personally think that it's a really great entry point for the Marquette community to come in and be able to engage with Indigenous art and perspectives in a respectful manner that kicks off the Heritage Month in a good way, in a way that Indigenous individuals would uphold and celebrate. So one of good relationship, good kinship, and good community with each other. So I'm excited about the event. I think it's going to open up a lot of opportunity for the Marquette community to have some important and critical conversations about what it looks like to be respectful in this space.
And for more information on the event, you can visit our website. As the weather cools, it's time to snuggle up with a good book. And it turns out many readers have their hearts set on romance. Naomi Ruckham tells us about the boom in romance-only bookstores and what's attracting readers of all backgrounds.
Fun and inviting. For Leah Koch, the story started in 2016 when she and her sister opened the nation's first ever romance bookstore in Los Angeles.
We really opened the kind of store that we would want to shop at.
Last year, the sisters began their next chapter, unveiling a second location of the Ripped Bodice in Brooklyn.
Which one do you think you should buy? Well, all of them.
The store is fun, flirty, and fabulous, with books ranging from tame to whatever your heart desires.
Romance novels have to have a happy ending. Now, in the olden times, that meant, married with children. These days, really, it's just the happy part.
And that happily ever after is reaching farther than ever before, with at least 18 romance bookstores now open across the U.S. Print book sales in the genre are on fire, from 17 million units in 2019 to nearly 40 million in 2023. Industry experts say readers' interest ballooned during the pandemic.
Really, two things happened during that time. The first is that Bridgerton was released on Netflix in early 2020, and that kind of grew the appetite for, these romance-focused stories. And then it was also the emergence of book talk, and passionate readers are posting videos and sharing the books that they're interested in and excited about reading.
Women own and operate the growing number of romance bookstores, and most of their clientele are women too. Readers Carla Ponce and Christina Henricks say they used to feel shame over their romance reading, even using book covers in public.
It's just so nice to finally be able to see that romance is actually finally getting accepted the way it wasn't really before.
Our generation is so open in general with everything that has to do with love that it's just so normal now to read it and talk about it.
For romance authors, readers, and store owners alike, it's a fairy tale come true.
Unit sales so far this year show romance is up 6% compared to last year and are expected to remain strong. One key trend this year, the romantasy subgenre, which combines romance and fantasy. Tom DeVecchio has your final look at our Halloween weather when we come back. And while all the kids are getting ready to receive their treats tomorrow, a police department in Colorado is getting their horses ready for the scary festivities. We'll be right back.
Is your child suffering from ADHD, anxiety, depression, or the inability to focus? NeuroFit Marquette offers personalized neurofeedback training to address these challenges. Our tailored approach aims for optimal brain function and wellness. Call 906-235-0561 to start your journey to better sleep and improve mood today.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She supported his disastrous economic agenda, higher taxes on the middle class. Kamala backed his open border policies, and their weakness invited wars. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower, and the border secure. But Kamala wants to double down on failure. Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255. If you're between 40 and 85, get your free Funeral Advantage Guide. Help keep your family financially protected with up to $20,000 cash immediately.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions.
Funeral Advantage is something we'll all need. There's no risk or obligation.
Call 800-845-5191.
Forcing schoolgirls to change in front of men, it's not normal. But Alyssa Slotkin wrote the bill to do just that. Slotkin wanted to force schools to let men into girls' locker rooms and onto girls' sports teams. Our schools are failing, and Slotkin's pushing this.
Congresswoman Slotkin is focused on letting men into girls' sports. I'm focused on teaching kids how to read. I'm Mike Rogers, and I approve this message. I'm a dad. I'll keep fighting to fix our schools for all our kids.
Join Mike's team. Give today.
Are you or a loved one feeling tired, irritable, or struggling with sleep? NeuroFit Marquette can help. Our personalized neurofeedback programs target anxiety, depression, and ADHD, aiming for the best outcomes. Call 906-235-0561 today and take the first step toward optimal brain function and wellness with NeuroFit Marquette.
Expect rain to continue for tonight. A little wet snow may mix in farther west toward daybreak here. Temperatures, though, for most of you in the lower to mid 40s. These are morning highs tomorrow. Basically west of Iron River. We're looking at probably temperatures falling into the mid to upper 30s. Hence, we do expect some snow rain mix, perhaps even coating or light accumulation in the grassy areas. But for Marquette and Iron Mountain east, little, if any, snow expected, though it could be a little bit of wet snow for the trick-or-treaters tomorrow night. Into Friday, mostly cloudy. We'll keep it chilly. A little bit of rebound in temperatures as we head on toward the weekend, lower to mid-50s, and then looks wet, but not too cold as we head toward the beginning of next week. Temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 50s, and then getting chillier again by the day on Wednesday. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thank you. And finally tonight, a Colorado Sheriff's Office put its horses through some creepy Halloween training to help them avoid getting frightened by scary displays or costumes during the annual festivities on October 31st. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said 3 members of its mounted patrol unit participated in 8 hours of training, during which they were exposed to scary scenes to help them work on being calm in different scenarios. They were curious with all the cackling and movements. The mounted unit also worked through smoke and then eventually turned off the lights to simulate what the horses might come across on Halloween while conducting patrols. And that's all we have for tonight, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
'19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
And the punishment is real. Women denied care, unable to get pregnant again, traumatized, scarred for life.